It's better to burn out than to fade away.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian at Whisper Status 74. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you are seeing me, please consider liking and subscribing. We are Real Tech for Real People. Today's video will be a tech therapy video. It's the basis of this channel. This will be a very personal video from me to you about us, about our community, and it will be therapy for us both. I am Brian. I have done YouTube for about 3 years, and the channel has just hit 17,000 subscribers, which is amazing. So the video is also a little bit of a thank you to you guys, but we'll do more thank yous as the vid goes on. This will be about 30 minutes, and the subject for today's video is really the importance of technology and what it does for us and our lives and the escape that it provides us. Now, the reason why I want to do this video today, let me adjust my camera a little bit. Sorry about that. The reason why I wanted to do this video today, if you guys can tell that I'm dressed up, wearing a suit, and have attended the second funeral in a week. And like many of you in the last few years have had pretty major losses. I've seen in the community tab, a lot of you have had major losses, and unfortunately I can't see or hear you. I don't know who you've lost, and it doesn't really matter other than I'm sorry, and I hope you and your families are doing okay. Life is hard anyway. It's hard for many of us since we were born, and the last few years have been brutal for a million reasons. No matter what your beliefs are or what you feel about what's happening out there, there are so many people really, really struggling, not just with new loss and sickness and death. And what I want to focus on today is not that, but as much as, or for what it does to those remaining, and how it affects you guys, and how it can change you, and how hardship and loss and death and struggle can make you stronger, obviously, and make you survive. But more than anything, what it can do is it can rot you, or jade you, or make you bitter, or make you toxic. And what's so important for me, as I circle back, being at a funeral today, is, we had the wake last night, lost two people that are very close to me, unexpectedly. And what they say about YouTube, which is so funny as a creator, is don't get personal. Well, here's the funny thing. I'm not really a creator. I'm not really an influencer. I have no goal to be famous. I have no goal for my channel to get big. I'm really just you. The only difference between us is I do exactly what you do, and then I just film, and then I put it up. And we'll talk about the change in channel direction at the end of the video. But what you're going to have here today is just a very honest conversation about technology and the joy it can bring, and the safe place it can be. So I'm at, again, the second wake last night and funeral today. And as you're making talk with some friends you haven't seen in years, YouTube comes up. And YouTube for me is not my career, and don't want it to be. What it is, it's an escape. So as I'm here talking to you an hour after returning from a very long week and a long day, not looking for sympathy or anything other than for me to tell you thank you. And thank you for letting me and allowing me to have this platform to where I can share my escape. Not just YouTube being an escape, but the love of the technology. And I'm not a robotics, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a calibrator scientist. I'm not. The love and the passion that we have really comes into place and comes into being needed when you're really, really struggling. And as the conversations were going around the room, we're talking about families and how's your family, how are your children, how is this, and And obviously funerals and wakes have been very different in the last couple of years, but this was a little bit more open, and YouTube came up. And one of the other friends said, oh no, he's like an influencer. He helps sell this and he helps sell that. And, and then a gentleman asked me, okay, what's the goal with that? And are you looking to become this? Are you looking to have a sponsor? Are you looking to... And my answer was like, no, not really. And he was kind of like, what do you do then? I said, well, basically just talking to the camera. And that's about it. So, and I was actually very proud of that. And the reason I say that is I call you guys a community and family. It's something that gets thrown around all the time in social media. Hey, what's up, fam? Or what's up, YouTube family, or whatever. I do really feel that way, as I've talked to many of you in the comments way more than I talk to coworkers or family or friends sometimes. And I get to know your lives. And I've made amazing friends. You guys have heard me bring up Brass Tacks from the UK. A special shout out to him. We've become very close friends, and he's in England, and we play games and we talk. And I'll bring him up again later in the video because he had an observation that's kind of why I want to discuss, talk about what hardship can do to you. So anyway, back to the funeral and the wake. You guys are on my mind. Lots of pain, lots of loss for many of you and for me. But I couldn't wait to come home and talk to you guys. And then maybe if I have time, watch a movie or play a game. Or, that's always what I've run to. From being a very young man who was out in the streets and have a very interesting life, which we'll explain sometime, I've always had that love of movies and gaming and action figures, and all the things that make me a nerd were always separate from my family and my friends. And sometimes the things that you love are separate from those that are in your lives every day. And that's what I think is so unique about our platform, is you are with a group of people that share the same love. There's plenty of people that are in or on our community that are gamers. There's plenty that are just TV people. There's plenty that love movies. And it's interesting for me as a creator because, it's views and likes and clicks, and are you growing and who are you competing with? And honestly, guys, I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to try to grow this way or that way. I don't want to hesitate to put out content. And I can do videos every day. There's things that I could speak on. I can come up with topics 2-3 times a day, easy. I simply don't. And time, career, life. But at times, I don't put out a video that no one's going to watch. And it's very different than being a creator when I first started. I would watch like a boss fight, or I'd play a game. I would just start filming it. And in those early videos, I wouldn't even be I'd have the camera in my hands. I miss that. I miss the simplicity of just sharing those moments with you. But back to what I'm saying about what we share and why technology is so important is it's always your birthday. It's always Christmas. It's always whatever holiday you look forward to. There's always something coming. There's always something to be excited about. There's always a new game or a new piece of technology. Now, a lot of the tech therapy videos that I do, they end up being a little bit negative in the way that I talk you off the ledge of TVs that are defective, and I try to calm you down or explain why you're struggling. This is different in the way, realizing that when technology works well, it's amazing. And the reason why I want to have this conversation is as you get more beaten and you lose more, and in my life, I first started YouTube because I had some defective panels. The reality is why those defective panels impacted me was we were dealing with major sickness in my family, and being a caregiver on top of everything else, I just wanted my technology to work. I just wanted, when I had that few minutes, to go downstairs. And when I started dealing with all the problems with TVs, I was filming them anyway as an escape, but I started to talk on it. And that's where the channel kind of went. And that's what at the basis of the channel is. But it was something during a really lonely time where death was so there, like it is for many of us right now. It kept me company. And it kept me sane and happy and something to look forward to. And that's such a gift. And it's why I never want that to change for me. I never want to grow up. I never not want to look forward to this movie. And what I've noticed is that remaining positive with such loss in life, I was on my own very early in life, early teens, battling a lot of things. To remain positive is a constant effort. To not be toxic, to not be jaded, to not be battle worn. But when you become battle tested, sometimes you get very hard. And you find the only way to get through certain things is to be more serious. And you find yourself being very abrasive about anything. And I'm not talking about politics or any of that nonsense. I'm talking about just life. If you're taking care of a loved one, sometimes the only way to get through that is to be hard, and you keep yourself going. But you can find that when it's time for levity, you can't. You can't turn it off. You can't be light. And it's very important to have people in your life to remind you that, hey, man, or you're getting a little negative, or you're getting a little too serious. And when you've seen the things that I've seen, and many of you have seen, it's very hard to not be jaded or not be damaged. What I want to bring to the platform and constantly still bring is how we can love all this together and not hate or tear or be toxic or rip apart each other. That's why I tell you that I don't compete with any other channels. I have no desire to be in that. I don't step into toxicity. I refuse to be toxic in my free time. And what I said about it always being Christmas, and since a young person, I was always like, well, I'm a little bored with this, but I can't wait for this to come out. Can't wait for that to come out. I have so many amazing moments of my first time, seeing Jurassic Park. The wonderment of THX, of surround sound and building little things. And I always try to preach to you guys to be as content as possible and enjoy the present moment and enjoy the content that's there. But if you think about your memories, it's always like smell and sound that remind you of happier times or sometimes worse times. But for me, no matter how bad life ever was, I was always looking forward to this. I remember in the 80s watching, anime and watching Akira and watching Wicked City and watching Fist of the North Star, and huge Transformers fan, and looking forward to this comic. And it's a part of me that was always wanting to be stomped out to be more serious. And I'm so glad that I have it. And I'm so glad that I never let it be taken from me. But as things get harder for us, it's not about anyone taking it from you. It's about you taking it from yourself. And this video is about that. You guys, and doing what I'm doing at this moment, remind me to stay fresh and to stay optimistic. And I can easily do videos every day. The videos that do the best are ones where you rant. And this is not good. And I don't do many of those anyway. And unfortunately, in the last few months and the last few years, since I've even started YouTube, we've had plenty of defective defective TVs and problems. And I can do videos on that every day. And I've always said that if I was a bit more toxic or fiery, the channel would do better and it would grow. And if I let the comments get toxic and I let people rip each other apart, the channel would be much bigger than it is. That's a fact. I don't want that community. I don't want that. I love my live streams where we joke around. This would be a live stream now, but it would be 6 hours. But I think it's so important to have that person in your life that can always say, hey, man, you sound like you're getting to that negative place. So, shout out to Brass Tacks. We were playing a few games, and I was very much looking forward to the fall. And for those of you that know, I had a flood in this room. I lost my home theater. And among all the sickness and death and things that have happened that I haven't shared with you, to have your entire basement be destroyed, which is like your safe place, I handled that okay. But I was really looking forward to the fall. After 8 months, 9 months, and however much money and loss of time during all this craziness, I finally get the TV, I get everything back out of storage, and I was really looking forward to Battlefield and this few months of all these games back to back to back. And I found that I hated them. I found that I started to get very, very upset with the shortage for the consoles and TV shortages, and Battlefield came out, and I was so excited. I played the beta. I loved it. And I'll talk about multiplayer in a second, but I was so excited. And to see the trend of these games not coming out the right way and not being finished, and terrible movies and all kinds of, it was invading my safe place and my happy place. So him and I were playing a game the other day, and we had touched on Halo briefly, and I thought Vanguard was awful. I'll do whole videos on this, and very the same. And Battlefield was this fun beta, and then the game released, and terrible. And I was like raging playing the game. And as Halo had come out, we had played it briefly, but Halo felt very samey. And we left it alone, played Battlefield, and it was really what I found, guys, was the loss of time. I'm playing a game, it's not functioning. I only had a few minutes anyway. As a father, as a businessman, as I had other things I needed to be doing. And I found myself not wanting to bother. And the same for doing YouTube. As a creator, you always say to yourself, should I even be doing this? Why am I doing this? Forget it. I don't need it. And sometimes you find that you can cut things out you love, people, friends, life, whatever. You can cut these things out to make life easier, not realizing how much you love it and how important it really is to you. So as we're playing Battlefield and I'm like raging, game that I love, he was like, I can't remember talking about Halo again. We were going back and forth. And he just goes, man, you sound a bit like a hater right now. And I was like, wow, I do sound very pessimistic. And what I realized is it's not the game. It's just a game. It's where I am, where I was going. I was becoming more tired. We're all coming out of this and years of this now, and putting so much emphasis on these games and so much, instead of just being patient and saying, well, this game will be fine when it's ready. But as a friend, I really appreciated, instead of just listening to me and probably rolling his eyes, he's like, damn, man, it sounds like you're really struggling. And this is making you to where instead of giving something a chance, I immediately am discarding it. So I went back into Halo and really enjoyed it. And we're getting ready to start the campaign, and there's no co-op. And I was already hating the campaign. And I was finding myself, what I'm trying to say to you guys is you find yourself so fatigued, you're not even willing to give things a chance. And this is more games than anything. And shut the lights off, turned on all this technology that we have, and I had a blast playing just the first level and let myself enjoy it. Meaning, let some of that pain that turns into anger, that turns into hate or bitterness, don't let that splash all over the rest of your life. You see that a lot with sports. People start to hate their sport, hate this quarterback, or, and next you say to yourself, why am I even doing this? I'm not enjoying this. And I found that with my team of guys that played multiplayer, we started to be too frustrated to enjoy the games. And a lot of that is where you are in your life, how you feel about you and how you feel about what's happening. I saw an interesting quote that said, Mondays don't suck, Fridays aren't more. It was really about those thought processes are really you. Where you are in your life will make that game that much worse. I put a lot of emphasis on these films, Star Wars, and just like, oh my God, I don't say the word hate much. And I found myself saying hate a lot. Hate those movies. And we're going to do videos on this. I do have a lot to talk about in regards to where we are in films and gaming, and we shouldn't settle for this. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when it's good, it's amazing. Multiplayer. And him and Brass and I were talking about this today, and my best friend Cody from our childhood and my buddy Paul reconnecting with this game, Halo. And it just so happens that Halo's free to play, and my buddies don't have to buy new consoles. And we're like screaming and like, yeah, and oh, and just all this fire and fun and laughter. And really, for a second, think about it. When do you have that? As adults, I did that when I played basketball and I boxed and I was an athlete when I would, yeah, good, whatever. All right, well, I'm 47 years old. How often am I going to be screaming to the top of my lungs in a good way? And we're laughing as I stick this guy with a grenade, or I have a great game and we're playing oddball. And I really sat and thought how important it is. How important it is where I'm at, my second funeral in a week. And I can't wait to talk to you. To you guys. Some people even said in the comments, I had a loss a few years ago, like, how can you make a video on the day that, okay, well, this is my escape. I don't want to be a sponsored person. I don't want to sell you anything. I try to tell you what I think is good, and I just want to hang out with you guys. That's all I really offer. Yes, I have TVs, and I have a great relationship with Robert and Wendy, and there's Value Electronics and other YouTubers, but I don't really want to sell you anything. I just want to hang out with you and keep this passion that we all have going. And for those of you that are really struggling in anything, depression, loss, addiction, be ready to fight those. Be ready to survive it. But the post-traumatic stress that comes from surviving that, and I don't throw that word around lightly, it can sometimes harden you for everything. And now when you come into technology that's not complete, and TVs are having issues, I can't tell you how much I want to put my foot through the screen and be like, I can't believe this thing. And trust me, we have all kinds of problems with manufacturing issues and games not being done. And I just ask that do not let that hurt you. Don't let that rob you of what it is at its core. As I'm running through Halo, I'm playing in front of this huge TV, and I'm just happy. Not happy, actually, lying right there. I wasn't happy. I was struggling, and I'm just shooting this guy, and I'm running, and I'm sliding, And I feel this smile kind of creep on my face. And I'm like, wow, man, this is fun. Levity. A laugh. Competition. To talk smack to each other and to not take it personal. To have a friend say, hey man, I think you sound like a hater. And that was just our conversation. It wasn't something I was putting. I just couldn't find anything that I liked. And it made me realize I needed balance. If you're a caregiver and you're taking care of somebody and you do that without a smile and you do that like, oh, gotta get this done because you want to get through it. Think about the person you're taking care of, how they feel if they see you struggling. It's no different than if I'm here and I'm spouting hate. I'm telling you how terrible things are and how bad this is and this thing is garbage. And, you know, even if I feel that way about certain things, I don't want to throw that on you. I don't want to be one of those negative channels that discusses everything that's wrong. Now, I'll be honest with you and tell you when something's wrong, but my point of my channel isn't to bring fear to you or to have you feel bad. It's the guy sitting next to you or the girl sitting next to you that's like, yo, watch this. Watch this scene. Check this out. To share with you our impressions, our Van Damme impressions, and our levity and our laughter. It's important. And now that we're closed off and we're brought in, a lot of people are just closed. We have our social media, which is an amazing thing and the worst thing ever created. It can make you feel lonely or less lonely. What I want to bring you is less lonely. I want to put out content every moment that I feel like it and not care what it is. I don't want it to be polished. I have cameras everywhere, iPads everywhere, editing equipment everywhere. I don't want it to be too clean. I'm not trying to attract a company to sponsor me. I don't need it. I don't want it. Communicating with you is what I want, and having friendships as we age. This video can get 50 views, but if I don't do it because I think it might not get views is the problem, and I don't want that. I don't want to feel like I have to do this comparison or that comparison or whatever. That stuff actually bores the hell out of me. TVs are TVs. They improve, they don't improve. They're great, they're not great. Games are great, they're not. There's so much to talk about. And I thank you for being that for me and for letting me and allowing me to continue my love of this and to never outgrow it or feel it's childish. Because honestly, what makes me happy when things are really, really tough is the excitement of, but once this game comes out, I can't wait to run another game. Can't wait to play. Can't wait to check out this new piece of technology. What are next year's games going to bring? But I ask you guys to find the balance between looking forward but being present. Looking forward to the technology that's coming, but try to find the joy in what you already have. Find the joy in those games. Go back and play some of them. Try to reconnect if you're into multiplayer. Go back and watch a show that you used to love on your new display. But I feel it's so important to let that stay childish and fun and light. Don't let these things turn you into a pessimistic, toxic, mean person. I've watched many of you in the comments go from very fun and you're happy to watching this turn you into something where everything is critical. You're protective of your TV. You hate this one, you hate that one, and it's all hate and no desire in seeing that or cultivating it or creating it. And yes, I could make the channel much larger if I let that be. and if I ranted more. And I don't want that. The world doesn't need more of that. What it needs is people being excited and just happy and amped. And I'm playing Halo, playing the game for 20 years. And I'm playing with a friend of mine who lives in the UK and a friend of mine I grew up with. And it's just important, if you don't have those friendships, if you don't have those connections or that family, to find that here. I'll be that for you. I'll be that place. Let this place be that place. I'll do my best to cut those crappy comments away if I can. But don't lose the love. Don't lose the love, the pure love of what we all share here. Don't let the way these movies are, or whatever reason you don't like films, we can talk about that too, but we can get to where, and it's another thing that Brass and I talk about. And we'll be doing a lot of work together at some point, and we disagree a lot in movies. And what I love about him is that he can just disconnect, enjoy a movie, and just let it be fun. And he's like, yeah, man, it was good. You know, I enjoyed it. And I'm like, oh, come on, but the story was ridiculous. And I get overly analytical, but I forget to sometimes just relax and enjoy the film. And that's what I'm saying for many of you guys, is to keep that in check. Get to where you're in a good enough place to where you're not letting the damage creep into what you love. Because then eventually you dislike it all. And hate and negativity and bitterness, especially as we age, you don't know that it's eating you alive. You don't know that when you turn on your TV or you go into these things that you escape, your escape can become the prison. And some people I have talked to are like, yeah, man, I used to be into that, and I just got rid of it, just wasn't into it, whether it was home theater or gaming or movies or sports or whatever. I was into that, and now I just my question to them is always, well, what did you replace it with? You know, what do you do now? And a lot of times, like, man, I just hang out and just whatever and whatever. I wanted to do more, make more of an effort to do more of this for you and to share more and to complete some of these games and to not be so tired on my phone or watching something, you know, some ridiculously toxic video, and be mindful of things you watch. Things that are toxic will make you toxic. Then everything sucks. But the video is going on long enough. It's about 33 minutes. And again, I don't care if it gets views. I'm not going to apologize that it's long. What this channel is you. I have no ambition to become anything. I'm not looking to become an influencer or whatever that is. I know what I know. I learn every day from you guys in the comments. You know what you know. I'll never claim to know more than you. I'm just a regular person. Only difference is I film something and put it on. And that's it. And I'm just so thankful that you allow me that. And even putting up the post of saying, hey, I'd be gone for a little while, meaning I wasn't really following up on my video. And all YouTube, I'll tell you this quickly, YouTube creators much larger than me will always do, I'm too busy, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, I can't make content. The biggest channels in the world have done that. And I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I'm you. I have a regular job, family. I just do this to hang out with you. So look at me as a friend, big brother, little brother, whatever. I'm just here to hang out with you. It's all I ask, or all I provide. And all I ask for is your friendship. And I thank you for it. 17,000 subscribers for a lot of channels is nothing. I've been criticized for not being larger, being that I've done this so long. But I'll tell you this, I do this part-time, once in a blue, here and there. I've taken a lot of time off here and there. I'm only here for the friendship. I'm not trying to be anything other than just be present and enjoy the things we all love. But pulling all the way around, let me help you keep loving that. Let me help you enjoy, and don't get so jaded where you can't enjoy the little things. Don't hate that franchise so much and to hate that game. As my wife will say to me when she sees me struggling with something gaming-wise, or unplug it, walk away. Sometimes you'll find that in your fatigue, a lot of it's user error, or you're just not in a good place. Don't let that be why. Step away. Let this love stay love. And let this still be joy. Never stop being a kid. Never stop being young. Never stop being excited. And never stop looking forward to the next film, the next show, special effects. Let that always be your love. That's your good friend. That's your old friend. And when you feel it start to permeate the rest of what you love, cut it. Take a breath and just say, okay, it's good. Even in death and in loss, I'm not hopeless. I still look forward to making this video today. I still look forward to sharing, not too personal, but showing you that I practice what I preach, and then I work on myself daily. And I can sense, for me, after many years starting to be too judgmental on this or that, and it was starting to rot me. And I'm always on it, but make sure you keep people around you that will also, in a nice way, pop you back up and just be there to enjoy the games, the movies, whatever. And you always hear the things that you own end up owning you. Don't let that happen. Enjoy them. And as bad as everything is, try to find a few things you love and protect them. And thank you for being the symbol of that for me and allowing me, and I do say allowing me, to have this platform and allowing me to have a safe place on this platform, and for always being there. And for all of you that have lost someone or lost yourself, find yourself, mourn those lost, and continue living. But living toxic and living devastated and living miserable isn't living. Try to find something to be happy about and something to look forward to. And again, I thank you for allowing me to have the platform. Thank you for 17,000 subscribers. Thank you for being such loyal friends and family. And I am very humbled that any video gets a single view or a single comment. And I'm always surprised that anyone watches or cares, but I am grateful and want to say that I love you guys. And please be safe and try as hard as you can to find joy and smile and laugh. All right, guys. Love you guys. Thank you so much for 17,000 subscribers. Look forward to more content, but it will be much more rapid, and whatever it is, I hope you like it. And watch the next one. We'll do more movie reviews. We'll do more collaborations, but it's going to be just whatever I feel like putting out there, and not really caring about views and likes. Because honestly, guys, views and likes are about new subscribers, not really existing. And I'm more concerned with my existing clientele than I am, or friends, than I am about attracting a bunch of new people. So anybody that clicks on this that's new is going to be like, what the hell? I'm not really caring about the algorithm and all that. 40 minutes in. This is actually short for me if you can talk about my live streams and things like that. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. And I'll see you in the comments. Take care.